Good morning. Wanted to continue talking about this quest I'm on to build this little role-playing game in the mini macro development environment. I want to take a few minutes to explain some things about the mini macro, which are kind of neat before we move on. First of all, why am I using this mini macro? So basically, you can think of it like a layer of abstraction over the Unity development environment. Unity is a big install, has a lot of stuff going on. This kind of brings it all together. MiniScript is kind of a neat language too. I'll be getting into some of those reasons why in just a minute. But this link is in the video description. MiniScript.org/mini micro. It feels a lot like working with an older system, but it's well, some of the benefits of working with an older system. Just like everything you need to write interesting software is right there. It's something that you can pick up with. I think first grader could pick up development here pretty easily, but the system expands so that like several decades later, I still find I can write interesting software in this system. So anyway, the link is in the description. You can download it here. And what it gives you is this folder with the program you run, which is where I want to start. So something's new here. Utility disk loaded. This is actually pretty cool. So way back when, if you were into MS-DOS, putting the autoexec batch file on your disk, what calls whatever's on that file to be read the first time, like whenever you turn the computer on. So the reason that matters, you can see that if we roll twist a little bit, there's our RPG Lite workspace, there's a utility folder and a utility folder. The system is going to run the startup file for whichever disk goes into the first disk folder, the USR folder. You can see there's the system folder, and user 2 folder. User is disk 1, user 2 is disk 2. So system starts, whatever is in the startup file will get executed. In this case, what I want to run is the startup file on the user 2 disk. Checks to see if that path exists, and if it does, it runs it, and then it's supposed to print ready, but it looks like it never comes back to that. It was probably something I wasn't accounting for. It doesn't really matter because what matters for today is that it's running the startup disk. And took me about a year to figure this out, but the second disk is actually useful for loading up utility functions onto. In this case, there's the inspect dialog that the MiniScript developer created for us. And what this gives us is actually something very similar to what you get in a language like Smalltalk. Let's look at one of the displays. Like display 3 is the text display. Like, it's the one that you print to. You go display 3, print, if I can spell it. That's how that works. You can see an inspect function has been added through the utility disk. So if I did this, there you go. It brings up a little text window where you can look at what's inside. And you see all the functions there. So that's kind of useful, and has some useful debugging purposes that might come up later. We'll also talk a little bit about project structure. Coming back to our role-playing game here, there's the environment variables. Come in here, look at env, or even better, inspect env, and you can see that that's basically it's a collection of environment variables. And one of those things is the import paths, which is really important for the import statement. And this is everywhere it's looking for importing things. I actually do not like that that's said twice. I need to figure out why. Looks at the user disks library folders looked at first, then the system libraries, and then this one that I added. And one thing that's actually kind of neat is how easy it is to tack more functions and values onto this. So you can see env.add import path. It's in C sharp that would you might think of it as an extension method, so it didn't come out until C sharp 3. And in MiniScript, it just kind of works. Wanted to be able to do something where first you check the import path, see if it contains that path. If it does not contain the path, push it into the import path collection. And then every time we need to add another library path, we just call env.add import path. And let's see, actually, oh yes, and the view command. Wanted to talk about that for a minute. Is that something that was brought up to me when I was showing off this project recently, which is a nice feature to remember. Let's get the path to one of our files. Going back to the base images, player 0. Hit the up arrow to get that command back. View, player 0, PNG, done. So yeah, there's a view function. And you use that and it will just show you whatever was in that file. Which is kind of neat. Press any key to get out, and you can use the same with any file really. If you give it a file path, and there's a text file, it's not as nice as the editor, but it's just kind of there. So, a couple of useful things to remember moving forward. And next, I'm going to stop this video here. The last video I did just got too long, too many concepts wrapped up into it. So, going to try breaking today's talk into a couple of chunks, and we'll see how it goes. So, hope to see you in a few minutes.